just south of Bancroft, Ontario. This is Silent Lake Provincial Park. I've never actually been here before, so this is going to be a new one for me. As you can see, you've got Silent Lake behind me. It's actually pretty quiet here today. I'm the only person in the day use area, which is kind of surprising for an August weekend. Although, as you can tell, the weather's not fantastic. It's pretty gray and cloudy, and it's probably gonna rain later, but oh well, that's the joys of being out here. Seems to be a pretty good facility. There's a lot of, you can rent canoes, get out on the water, there's campgrounds. What I'm here for is the Lakeshore hiking trail. It's a 15-kilometer trail that follows the shore of the lake, so you can do a complete circuit around all of Silent Lake. I haven't done a hike of this length since last year, probably, so it's going to be kind of a test of my fitness levels, but I'm looking forward to it. So yeah, this is Silent Lake. As far as hiking trails go, this one's not particularly challenging technically. There's not a lot of elevation gain, and as you can see, it's a pretty well maintained and well groomed trail. And there's still trip hazards. You want to wear some good hiking shoes or hiking boots that have some ankle support. It would be really easy to roll an ankle on some of the roots and the rocks. But what really makes this hike a challenge is just the distance. Say an average fit individual could do this hike in about 4 to 6 hours. I've found for me those estimates are always a bit on the long side, so I can usually shave at least an hour off that estimate for how fast I'll go around. But yeah, it's certainly a nice walk. The sun's starting to come out a little bit, which will be good. Hopefully it'll warm up a touch. As you can see, there's a lot of mud through here. We've had a lot of rain the last couple of days. As far as wildlife goes, I don't really expect to see much beyond maybe some squirrels and chipmunks and a few birds today. This is black bear country, so definitely a possibility of running into some bears. Don't think it's going to be particularly likely since this is a pretty fairly so well-used trail and bears are shy, so I would be very surprised to see one today. There's also moose in the area, but again, a lot of people in this area, so moose tend to avoid people. If I see one, that would be fantastic, but I don't expect it today. If you are worried about encountering things like bears, well, it's our first wildlife of the day, a squirrel. There he goes. So you can see we're following the lake pretty closely through here. This first half of the trail will actually follow the shoreline very closely. And from everything that I've researched on it, the second half of the trail goes a little bit further inland. More hardwood, more rocks, things like that. Yeah, if you were worried about bears or moose or just animal encounters out here, the human voice is actually the best possible deterrent there is. Because as I mentioned, they like to avoid people as much as possible, so if they hear us coming, they tend to get out of the way. So I was just walking along the trail and I saw some motion to my side, and this guy flew in. It's a pileated woodpecker, and he has found himself a nice stump. He is madly picking some bugs out of it. I can actually hear a couple more woodpeckers off in the distance, maybe 100 yards away. I saw some more shadows through the trees, but I actually thought it might be blue jays, because you can hear a few blue jays calling in the background there. But it looks like it might be a whole family of pileateds. So this is pretty cool. And you see one every once in a while, but to see 2 or 3 of them all in the same spot, that's pretty incredible. Anyway, I'm gonna leave this guy to his grub hunting, and I'm gonna carry on with my hike. I'm just stopping here for a minute. I'm only about maybe 1.5 kilometers into the hike, but mosquitoes are starting to come out, so time to bug spray. So yeah, as we've already established, mosquitoes love me. If you ever want to avoid getting bitten by mosquitoes when you're out in the wilderness, stick close to me. 20 people around, they will always come to me. Apparently, I have very tasty blood for mosquitoes. Technically, you're not supposed to apply DEET to your skin, but yeah, I don't quite know how that works because skin is where the bugs actually land, so to the skin it is. I'm just coming up to a beach area that's for use by people who are camping here. So yeah, there are actually other people here in the park. Just most of them are camping out. They're not doing the day trip like me. So I'm going to eat crow here and take back everything I said earlier about this not being a particularly technical hiking trail. It actually is. Even after 3.5, 4 years here in Ontario, I still find myself kind of falling prey to the BC mentality of there's no mountains here, you don't have real hiking in Ontario. But they do. There is actually, you may not get the sheer verticals here in Ontario that you do in BC, but make no mistake, still very wild country. As you can hear, I'm kind of sucking wind a little bit here. I knew my fitness was going to be an issue on this hike, and it's proving to be true. But so as you can see as I walk here, I'm constantly looking around. I'm scanning, heads coming up all the time. It's really easy, especially in more technical trails, to just get tunnel vision. Put your head down, focus on your feet and your footing, and not look around at all. And that's actually a really dangerous habit to get into because it's very easy, if your head's down and you're not looking around, to follow a small side path or a game trail and not even realize that you've gone off your intended route. And that's how people get lost so easily out here. You really have to be scanning and be aware of your surroundings all the time. And it's not just about making sure you're on the right trail. It's just being aware of wildlife and things like that too. It's keeping an eye on things so you don't get startled, so you don't startle something else. It's just a good habit to be in to really get that situational awareness when you're out in the wilderness. So I'm about 10.5, 11 kilometers into this hike now, 2/3 of the way through. And I'm definitely starting to feel a little bit tired. The legs are okay, but yeah, I just grabbed a granola bar on the fly there a little while back. I really should have stopped for a break and for some food a couple of kilometers ago, but haven't really come across anywhere that I wanted to stop. But I mean, I could always just park down anywhere, but what I've been looking for is somewhere nice where I can take off my shoes and soak my feet in some cool lake water for a little bit. Got some hot spots erupting on one of my feet, and they're not quite blisters yet, but they're getting there. And I'd like to take care of them sooner rather than later. So I may just have to stop at some point here, even without the water, and look after those. So I'm about 11 kilometers into this hike now, and I found this great spot to stop and have a break. My main thing is get some food in me because I'm starting to feel the energy levels flagging a little bit. Just listening to the blue jays right now. They're pretty squawky today. So one of the things I always carry, first aid kit. It's pretty basic, just a couple of band-aids and then some antihistamines, things like that, but it's always something you want to have with you. Actually using here is some second skin or some moleskin. If you've already got a blister erupting, you don't want to use this stuff, it'll just make it worse. But if it's just a hot spot, if it's just a little bit red and you don't have a full-on blister yet, then it does the trick just to kind of give you a little bit of extra protection from the rubbing. Just past the 13-kilometer marker. It's the home stretch now, last 2 kilometers to go. The trail's gotten a lot easier, which is nice, so just been hearing some fairly heavy crashing in the bushes up here ahead of me, so I'm kind of curious what's up here. Noises can be a bit deceptive in the bush, so I mean it could just be something small, but yeah, I'm not sure. It was some fairly substantial crashing, which makes me think it was something a little bit bigger than a squirrel. Seems to have stopped for now, but oh, there it is again. Yeah, I really don't know at this point. I mean, it could just be a raccoon, porcupine, something like that. But yeah, there's definitely something a little bit bigger than a squirrel floating around out here. that was a squirrel. Just dropped some nuts on the trail behind me. But, well, whatever it was that I heard is quiet now, so not sure what that was. I was hoping we maybe would have gotten a nicer big wildlife sighting there, but not this time. So I'm just coming up to the end of the hike now. You can see the trail clearing up ahead. So that was 15 kilometers. It was a lot to take on for sure, but it was well worth it. It was a really good day. Only saw 4 other people on the trail the entire time, which is good. You can get away from everything and have the wilderness pretty much to yourself. Wildlife sightings were pretty much what I expected today. Saw a lot of chipmunks and squirrels, a lot of blue jays. Saw those 3 pileatids, which were pretty cool. And I've never seen 3 woodpeckers together like that before, so that was a pretty neat experience for me. And somewhere around the 5 kilometer mark, I didn't get it on film unfortunately, but I spooked up a raptor at some point, so it looked to be some sort of a hawk. I'm not sure what type. I'd have to look it up when I get home tonight, but yeah, that was pretty cool too. So there you have it. That was the Lakeshore Trail at Silent Lake Provincial Park.